What is up, guys? Matt here to talk about the all new Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, this is a spoiler free review. So that means if you haven't seen the movie, you're okay. We're in the clear. I'm not going to spoil anything. Let's jump right into it. So, this is the seventh installment in the Mission Impossible franchise. And Mission Impossible is one of those things, really, that I think a lot of people said this, but I'm going to say it here. Um, just uh, it's one of those things where it gets better seemingly with each sequel, which doesn't happen with many genres or movies of any sort. We had Mission Impossible 1, which is arguably a classic. Mission Impossible 2 is arguably the weakest in the series. And then there was a little break. And then we had Mission Impossible 3 in the early 2000s. And it seemed like from that movie on, they've just been spitting out one banger after another. With Fallout, Mission Impossible Fallout, the sixth installment, really being like the top. Like I think everyone pretty much agrees that that is the best in the series so far. So it was kind of interesting to see how they were going to follow that up because that one had been so good and gotten so much praise. So far, I will tell you, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 is making all the money at the box office. So once again, after in a time where Indiana Jones is bombing and The Flash is bombing and um, Insidious is doing and the last few movies that have come out at the theater haven't been doing good. Tom Cruise is here once again for the second year in a row to single-handedly save the day. Last year was with Top Gun Maverick. This year it's with Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So right away, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion. I mean, opinion, movies are, you know, subjective. So my opinion doesn't mean that you're going to think the same that I think. But in my opinion, Dead Reckoning is not as good as Fallout, but it's still highly entertaining. And really, I'd probably rank it number two in the series. It holds its own as one of the best films in the franchise. Tom Cruise, again, I swear he is, I've heard other people say this as well. He is the last movie star in Hollywood, like true Hollywood movie star. Like back in the day, you think of movie stars, not actors, movie stars. And that's Tom Cruise. I think Tom Cruise is really like the last big movie star. And it's really not a question now of if Mission Impossible is the best or ultimate spy movie, better than James Bond or what have you. It's really now a question of how long Tom Cruise can keep this going. They kind of built originally Dead Reckoning Part 1 and Part 2 were going to be the final two films. But then recently, Tom Cruise came out in an interview and said he hopes that he's still making these movies when he's Harrison Ford's age, which is 80, 81 now. So, are we going to get many more Mission Impossibles after Dead Reckoning Part 2? Maybe. Sounds like it if Tom Cruise has his way and he helps produce these movies. So, quite possibly. As long as they're still doing what they're doing, each one being awesome and either better than the next or very close to, then I'm there for it. They're just wild, fun movies, and you see the crazy things that Tom Cruise does, knowing that he does most of his own stunts, and you're just like, this man is insane. So, guys, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you see it. It is definitely worth seeing it in the theater. Star rating, I give this movie 4 stars. Why not five? Because it is a little lesser than Fallout, which I had given 5 stars. Also, the length, it was 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 40 minutes, or something like that. Um, and I don't mind a long movie, but I felt the length did hurt it just a little bit. In the opening, I don't know, 25, 20-ish minutes, just dragged on. It felt like really like the first half hour of that movie, I was just like, is this going to pick up? And then once it did, it never let go. And I was like, okay, this is what I was here for. But that opening, to me, again, just my opinion, that opening half hour felt very slow, and I felt like they could have cut a lot of that out. Now, a lot of that is to set up where the movie ultimately goes. I get that. I just think that there's another way you could have done it shorter, even if you'd sliced it in half and done it 15 minutes shorter. But really, that's my only complaint about the movie. It's great. You get the regular returning characters from the previous movies. I mean, it's all here. Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments if you've seen it, or if you haven't seen it, if you plan to see it. Let me know what you think. Until next time, everybody, have a great week and love one another. See you guys.